What's up, everybody? It is wrestling time here at ComicBook Nation. I'm very excited if you can't tell. And I have as you can see here, an awesome team of wrestlers, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wrestlers and wrestling writers here to talk about WWE's Royal Rumble. I am Matt Aguilar. You know this because I talk way too much, and I apologize for that. We're also got Connor Casey back in the building to talk some wrestling. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
We have Turn Up Charlie Ridgely wearing an awful shirt.
It's a great shirt. It's a great shirt.
And we have the newest addition to the wrestling team here at Comic Book, Haley Miller. How are you?
I'm great, and we're also mad. So
Haley has a wonderful shirt.
Take part of the Comic Book Nation today.
Here's the thing. See, I understand. Me and Haley have a deal that I don't talk smack about the Young Bucks as much as I would in the Slack because we work the same shift, so we have to deal with each other constantly. So that's the deal. I have no such deal in place for Charlie, hence why he gets the fire. That is
to be fair to Haley, this was my I put this shirt. I was like, oh, Matt's gonna hate this. I thought, you know what? I bet money Haley also has this shirt.
God.
And I was right.
We're here to talk about the Royal Rumble, good sir. So we're starting mess. All right, it's too early for mess. We got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, the Royal Rumble is one of the biggest events, not just in WWE, but in wrestling. It's one of the most looked forward to. We got a lot of things building into WrestleMania. So let's get started with the men's Royal Rumble match. Just kind of want to go around the room a little bit. Which superstar are you? Number one, offers the most compelling story to win their match, and which one are you actually picking to win the Rumble? Connor, what you got?
So for both, I think it has to be CM Punk. There he is on the screen. The thing is, and we'll get into my stumping for why Cody should have won in the main event of WrestleMania 39 against Roman Reigns last year. We will get to that later. But for now, I think if you're going to tell the story of Cody getting another shot at Roman, they're going to put some hurdles in his way. Mm-hmm. He won the Rumble last year. It was very matter of fact. You knew he was going to be in it. You knew that was when he was going to make his return. He wins it. We're off to the races for WrestleMania. This year, I think they got to take a little bit of a detour with it. We've still got Elimination Chamber in Perth. He's going to be doing something there. They're not just going to have him sitting waiting in the wings. That leaves Seth over on Raw. Who's the obvious pick? CM Punk. This is shaping up to be a great card, but honestly, it's kind of one of those Rumbles where the answer is obvious, and if they divert, you're going to go, what in actual hell are they doing? Because there's 3 or 4 guys you can honestly name for men's Rumble winners. Once you get past that, it's like, okay, did somebody get hurt or did a contract fall through? What the hell?
R-Truth is my pick right there. I just want to say I put him in there. I put him in there because he's amazing.
He's the best member of the Judgment Day, and that is a fact.
Haley, what you thinking here about this? Do you agree with Connor? Do you have another pick in mind?
No, I absolutely agree. I think it has to be CM Punk. And for all of the things that he said, but also because I think that, between Seth and Gunther, they've really been holding down the title scene in WWE because Roman's obviously kind of taken more of a back seat. He does, obviously the bigger shows. And so I think it's the right pick. And obviously they've teased that. Punk has teased going after Seth. And so I would like to see that. That's something that he didn't get in his initial run, that main event at Mania, even though he says that he did, he didn't. So I think it has to be Punk.
Charlie, what you throwing into this?
First of all, I want to say the thing that brings me the most joy is Punk pulling a Goldberg and then messing up when he's supposed to win. I would really love to see it. I think Punk is going to win, but it's easier for me to see the way that they've played out the whole Seth fighting champion thing and the way Roman is so exclusive.
Yeah.
It all feels like it makes more sense in kind of story for Cody to get it because, Roman's on a different night.
Right.
Roman only fights sometimes, whereas like if you get under Seth's skin enough, you can fight Seth. Like it's not, you don't have to have that to fight Seth.
Braun Breaker did it.
I agree. I mean, Jinder Mahal. Like, who cares? I like what Connor and Haley both said. Like, I think that the Punk thing is inevitable and it does make sense, and we want to get him in the main title scene at Mania. I think you can do that without winning the Rumble. I think him losing the Rumble could give him some more story, because I want to see annoyed, pissed off, kind of mean Punk. I don't like this I'm this hero returned, prodigal son thing.
Happy
Like,
to be here. Yeah.
it's annoying. He is so much better when he's intentionally annoying and not, a little kiss ass. Like, I think there are better ways to do him, and that chip on your shoulder, I think will work better. Personally, what is the most intriguing story? It's not happening, but to me, it's main event Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble and taking out and going against Roman at WrestleMania. Especially you have the Rock thing going on. If you have a whole bloodline centric WrestleMania main event, I think that's the coolest outcome.
Charlie,
that thing is going to happen. I do not think it's happening at all. It's Seth or it's Cody or Punk.
Charlie, Haley and I were in Detroit for SummerSlam. We saw that match firsthand. Haley, you may recall this, but that match sucked.
It did kind of suck. I really wanted Jay to win, but it was by the end of it,
might have sucked.
To leave,
but
it was
with the Rock of it all, with the bloodline thing, again, it's not going to happen. It's just what I want. You asked the most intriguing thing to me. That would be the most intriguing thing to me. That's what I'd love to see. But again, I know that's not really a possibility.
So I'm gonna shake things up here because I guess I'm gonna be the lone wolf for a minute. Shout out to Nick Valdez's favorite wrestler, Baron Corbin. I am gonna go Cody because that's what I want to see. Damn it, I want Cody to win.
Gotta finish the story.
So you gotta finish the story, man. And man, it'll tie in so well with things that will be announced soon, and probably by the time we're recording this, it'll just go so well. And
whatever could you be referring to?
I don't know. But it's I just think I agree with Charlie, and mostly what Charlie said. And Charlie hinted at it when he said, like, to me, the logistics of Cody challenging Roman have to figure into this. A Royal Rumble win is the easiest and most direct way for him to get a rematch. Otherwise, it's like he has to spend a month kind of trying to get under Roman's skin and get
Roman
that
would just
challenge.
say no. He'd be like,
well,
I
beat you already. Go away.
Exactly.
I have the answer in 4 words. He wins the chamber.
Okay, that's maybe. I don't think that's as strong as him winning the Rumble. And sometimes the most direct answer is the best answer. Now, what I will say though is that it does, unfortunately, my only hesitation on that is that he won it last time. So like you would literally be repeating the winner. So maybe in that sense, they want to change it up simply for that, and then they find another way to do it. I'm not saying they can't. And I honestly think that Punk's...
There's also the element of there's never been a back-to-back winner, and
that's true.
That's
also
put
true.
Up Cody in that way, like the first back-to-back Royal Rumble winner. It's like this big thing on his resume.
And I agree with you that you can still get to Punk, Seth, other ways. Like I think it actually works in both ways. I think either way you can get to both of these matches without them winning the Rumble. I think that's a win-win situation in that respect. Whoever wins, you can still get to the other. That said, there is something I kind of want to see Cody win because it, just tips the cap enough to be like, all right, here's your thing. We can build up to it for the next month and a half. Everyone knows it's happening. It's the sequel, that kind of thing. So before we move to the next thing, any additional notes anyone wants to drop in?
I just find it very interesting that nobody said The Rock as the winner, even though I feel like that's something that they could pull out if they want.
Well, we'll get to The Rock in a minute because he's deserving of his own time,
his own segment,
his own segment. But that is a very good point.
I want to say,
Charlie, do you
really
want to drop it?
In is seeing where Punk comes into the Rumble, because the whole thing with Gunther and Cody last time, Gunther going all the way. That whole thing, putting Punk in first is kind of an intriguing thing because we've set up the story on Raw where he has pissed everybody off, and every single one of them has had a segment on Raw at some point talking about how we're going to get to the Rumble and I'm going to do this with you in the Rumble. And it'd be fun to have him try and knock down all those pins, but also, do we think Punk can last the whole Rumble? And at his age, he is not Gunther, he is not Cody. do we think Punk can go a whole Rumble? And so it's like, do you put him in last? But that takes a lot of the, I think, the suspense and the fun away from it. So I'm interested to see where Punk comes into it. It's not I don't have a theory with it. I'm really intrigued to see where that lands.
To that point, Charlie, it is weird that they've held off on any sort of in-ring action for Punk on television, when over in AEW, it was almost a weekly thing of what's he doing in the ring this week.
Yeah.
Over here, it's like, we'll just do a couple promos. He'll work a house show with Dominic, and that's it.
Right. It also, there is something to be said for showing your strongest aspects and featuring your strengths. And he is consistently strong on the microphone.
Yeah.
Not all of those matches were good.
A lot of them were.
And they also ended up with, memes on social media of, lariats and like other stuff. Like there was always things. Sometimes it wasn't always good reaction.
But we know if they wait to put him in with Seth, we know that's going to be a good match
because Seth can carry that.
And so it's like, if you can hold off to that,
with the one thing, if Seth is healthy.
Yeah.
With the one caveat, if Seth is healthy, if Seth is on a gimpy ankle or whatever, then Punk's going to have to carry more.
And there's Punk's not the guy to do that match, because when it was Seth and Cody went in with the torn pec only because it was Seth on the other side.
But there's also something
to bring Punk in to be that guy.
There's something to be said for rust, where it doesn't matter how good your partner is. If you're rusty, the match is going to suffer.
That's true. That's also a very good point. Haley, anything you want to put a button on here before we move to the next one?
I don't think so. I think you all said exactly what I was going to say, so I'll just let you say it.
Awesome. Well, let's move to the women's Royal Rumble match. I think this one is a little... There's still a couple of very strong people who could win, but I think it's a little more unpredictable than the men's right now, just because of who's available. We've got some injuries, things like that. You obviously have to think Charlotte Flair figured probably into this Rumble match. She's unfortunately can't. There's some NXT stars that probably might figure in. They're also hurt. So there's a lot of that going around. Right now, I'll kick off this one because I think my pick would be the one I think will win it is the person we're looking at right now, which is Becky Lynch. Everyone knows I adore Becky Lynch. It's no secret there. But I also just think they've been very much clearly building to Rhea versus Becky. I think that is the thing they've been teasing, and that is a WrestleMania worthy match. So I think that's a win. The one I want to win is Bayley, because I want Bayley has been given the short shrift at however many WrestleManias now, sometimes due to injury, others times just due to what the hell decisions. I don't understand. And they've been doing this face turn build really well. It's a slow burn, but they've been doing it really well. And I think all the ingredients are there for her to make the turn ahead of WrestleMania. And then you have full face. Everyone wants to support Bayley, see her get her moment, and have this really awesome moment for her. She's been a workhorse. Just like Seth, we talk about Seth, right? Bayley has gone out consistently and deserves that kind of spotlight. So that would be my want, but I also will not be sad if Becky ends up facing Rhea at the thing. Haley, what do you think?
So it's interesting because similarly to how you guys were talking about, like, we can get to these matches, without having them win the Rumble. I feel that way about Becky. I do think that Rhea versus Becky is going to happen at WrestleMania. It writes itself. It's a great story, but I feel like because they're making it so obvious, she's not going to win the Rumble. And like you said, I would love to see Bayley win. She's the only one of the 4 horsewomen that hasn't gotten that main event match at Mania. I don't know that she would this year either, but she deserves that spotlight. And like you said, the story with Damage Control, it's so compelling. And they deserve that payoff at Mania, I feel, and the Rumble. But yeah, I think that we can get to Becky and Rhea without the Rumble. Like, I think that she can go into Elimination Chamber and win that, especially with the Nia story that they have going. I think that she needs to overcome Nia first before she gets to Rhea. So I think that doing that, like maybe, Nia eliminates her in the Rumble and then they kind of kick that off from there and then she meets Rhea at Mania. That's kind of how I feel.
Connor, what you feeling?
So I think Becky is the safe bet. It makes the most sense. It's obviously what they've been building to longer than I think we even realized, because there was a stare down way before
That's right.
Rhea had popularity had really exploded.
Yeah.
And they were already setting the stage for it. So I think that's a surefire bet. The Bailey damage control thing, I feel like the story isn't quite at the point where a face turn at the Rumble makes sense. I almost feel like they're going to draw out her eventual split, and we get that Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline at the Rumble from last year moment. I feel like we don't get that until Mania. And for that to happen, she probably won't be Io's opponent or her only opponent. It could be a triple threat with somebody else in the mix. And then she has to be like, do I help Io? Do I not? Is damage control actually on my side? I feel like her as a baby face, that's a story you tell throughout the summer, all the way up until SummerSlam, as opposed to hitting the fast forward button on it to where it has to happen at Mania.
Interesting. Charlie, what you think?
So I've been on a roller coaster since you all started talking, because I came in with a very set opinion on this, and now I felt so many things coming in here. I was like, it has. After Monday night, I'll feel like I'll be disappointed if it's not Becky, because seeing Becky and Rhea together, like, and you think about the gravity of a WrestleMania main event, like, that's the biggest, I think, women's match you could put on, because everyone wants to see it, and they're both so enormous. And I mean, man, they put on a good match. I do think it's kind of opposite of what Haley said. I think that it's easier to get to them because the Bailey and Io story writes itself because of the history there. But something I've kind of come onto, again, as y'all were talking, I think Bailey winning, we can still draw out the turn and we can draw out the match on the way to Mania. It doesn't have to be instant, because if Bailey wins, you can have this like, oh man, you're going to challenge Rhea right now. Damage Control can have both titles, and that's the idea they're going to have. But on the way to Mania, things happen, and she kind of like the
she
the big dramatic signing of the contract, choosing Raw or SmackDown thing, and then she ends up deciding she's going to fight Io instead of.
You get me hype, Charlie. There you go. That's a good pitch.
So
that's a good pitch.
I've talked myself into Bailey in the last 3
months.
Even though there's not in men's or women's, there's not many matches in WWE I want to see more than Rhea and Becky. For Bailey's sake, I think a story with Bailey would be the biggest payoff when it's all said and done.
Adhere to the role model is what I say. So let's move. I think. Okay, so let's touch on this real quick, because there's been some news that has surrounded this lately that we gotta fit in here. Royal Rumble is great for surprises, right? It's always like a mix of legends. Sometimes we get AJ Styles or like showing up. Other times we get Chelsea Green, right? So there's always, you never know exactly what you're gonna get here. What is the one person you would love to see, and is it a person that is currently setting social media ablaze because they are a free agent soon? Who is the big surprise? Whoever wants to jump in on this one.
Can I just say it's not Okada?
Yes, you can, because we got the name in. Dang it,
because it's not, guys. It's not Okada. I'm sorry.
I can't see him in WWE, man. I can't.
I can't either.
It's not even a question of does he fit,
and if he shows up, he won't be named Okada.
No.
It's really not a question of does he fit or will Triple H use him well, or how have they used other Japanese people. Like, all of Damage Control is great, but then you look at Akira Tozawa, that guy was one of the best wrestlers in the world, and now he's just doing the "oh, that's nasty" dance every week. You look at Shinsuke, God love him, and I love how they've changed up the presentation, but that dude is booked to lose, unfortunately. And that guy was on the exact same level as Okada back in the day. And look where he is now. We don't even have to get into that. It's just a matter of dates. His contract isn't up until after the Rumble ends. Sorry. And y'all got to be paying attention the past couple of months. This man was on Dynamite. This man had 2 matches with Danielson. We're probably getting a third. Ospreay kind of dropped the hint.
Go to TNA and make everyone go.
Yeah, go to TNA
and let's just stop all this.
And he might, I would love the TNA because I love that as a twist. But it's like, I've looked at so many guys so many big free agents. Everyone's like, oh, they're definitely going to WWE. Jay White, he's in AEW. Oh, she's definitely going back to WWE. And Mercedes Moné, reports would beg to differ. And it's like, guys, y'all really do underestimate just how much money Tony Khan has. When he wants somebody, he will outbid WWE.
And he'll
That's
pay
true.
a lot of money to have them not do a whole lot.
That's also very true.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, again, I still think it's a better fit than WWE for Okada. I don't
you get paid a lot of money
There
eating
are
catering.
Japan people
great.
who would be great in WWE. I do not think Okada's one of them.
Yeah.
I want to see if Zack Sabre Jr. ever left, put him in WWE yesterday.
Yeah.
I think so fun. Okada belongs in AEW or TNA. TNA would be great. Put that
TNA.
kind of star power on TNA as it's rebranding would be an absolute steal and would really elevate that to maybe not the heights it was at one point, but it would really put it in a conversation that it hasn't been in a very long time.
TNA.
So
TNA.
I agree with Connor. Okada's not coming. But this we're probably get Andrade.
Yeah, Andrade. Don't sleep on him.
I mean, it's not sleeping on Andrade. It's sleeping on, like, we all know Andrade is going to WWE, so it's not like a big surprise.
I think we get Liv Morgan, which is great for the women's division because she'll probably make her big return there.
Yeah.
I would love to. I don't think we'll get any of the, ironically, Julia and some of the other Camille, we might, I don't know, we could get Camille actually. That one could happen. I could actually see that happening at the Rumble.
We could. She was backstage at the other place this week.
Yeah, but she was just visiting friends. And also, again, if I believe every single report, it goes back and forth every week. So, no, I don't put any real solace until I hear they're in the building and they're offering them money. That's when I put it in. Yeah. So let's move to the other guest that Connor hinted to earlier. The Rock. The Rock came to SmackDown and Raw and made it clear that he's looking to sit at the head of the table. And that set, Threads ablaze. See my shout out to Threads there. That set it ablaze. And do you think, should The Rock, number one, show up at the Rumble to set up that WrestleMania match against Roman? Or do you think they should hold off? How do you think The Rock should be used at the Rumble? Connor, what you thinking?
So can I give my rant now, Matt, about...
You got to keep it tight, but yes.
Okay. So here's the thing. If they had just let Cody win last year, we would not be dealing with a problem right now, which is everybody and their mother wants the Cody and Roman rematch, but Roman's attention is also being diverted to Rock versus Roman for the position of tribal chief. And I have said it. I said it the day after WrestleMania 39. I have said it every day since. There is not a single person who would decide to not tune in to Roman versus Rock because the title isn't involved. Yeah. That match sells itself on name value alone. And the story you have behind it is the position of tribal chief. The title is an afterthought in its own main event. Mm-hmm. So now people are talking and they're saying, oh, what if it's Rock versus Cody night 1, Rock versus Roman night 2?
Don't quote me without saying my name, dang it.
What if it's
I pitched that to you.
Another match night 2? What if it's a triple threat? People are pitching all these different things. But to me, this all feels like it could have been avoided if you just hadn't done the dumb thing last year. Now, as for what we have, because we have to live in the now as opposed to what should have been, I say he doesn't show. I don't think he shows up. I don't think he's going to be the surprise entrant. I don't think he's staring down Roman because I don't know if Roman is on this show anyway. Oh, wait, no, he's in the 4-way. Maybe he pops up in the 4-way. Maybe that's it. But in the Rumble match itself, I think he's left alone.
Interesting. Charlie, what you got?
So I agree with Connor that this could have been avoided.
Yeah.
Because you could have had on one night Roman and Rock with no title, and then the other, we could have had Cody and Punk, or Rhea and Becky, like
Cody and Gunther.
Literally, that's not a main event WrestleMania match. Go home. So
wow,
I love Gunther, but come on,
Charlotte.
like,
the ring
you're not
general.
selling tickets with Gunther. No one cares.
Oh, boy.
You know
Okay,
that's gonna be a
we can't get
SummerSlam
derailed.
main
We can't
event
get
in, like,
derailed.
That's a SummerSlam match. That is SummerSlam, not a WrestleMania main event. But the problem is, and what Connor alluded to, Cody. No matter who beats Roman losing, I feel, only happens at WrestleMania. That is the only stage worthy of the end of that reign.
Mhm.
Okay, Cody fighting Roman can only happen at WrestleMania if he's going to win. Roman fighting Rock can only happen at WrestleMania. That's the only stage worthy of that match. So now we're at a crossroads where, like, we have two things that need to
See
happen.
what you did there. Crossroads.
And I didn't even mean to, actually. We have two things that have to happen, and we have one show. Something's going to have to wait a year. And I assume it's going to be Roman losing the title. But Matt, your idea is the best one in my opinion. I'm gonna quote you and give you credit on it. Because think about the poster for WrestleMania. You have a mirror image of Roman in the center, facing both directions. Cody on one side, Rock on the other. It's like that. That's biggest WrestleMania of all time. WrestleMania 40. It's a huge thing. Like, that's it. As much as I want Seth to headline WrestleMania, as much as I want Rhea and Becky to headline WrestleMania, I am so ready for this Roman story to be over.
How dare you insult the
I
tribal
am
chief?
done with this. The title reign. I want to see the bloodline implode and see what they all do when they are just out of whack and all over the place. Roman and Rock night 1, Roman and Cody night 2. Give him the belt, Cody. I mean, and let's end this charade and do something else with our Friday nights, please.
Let me just add this, Haley. I'll let you cook here in a second. The thing about the Roman frustration is that if it is Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania, there is no chance in hell Rock is winning because the title is involved, and that guy has told this very website he would not be coming back for another championship reign.
Well, you can say it's
Charlie,
for
you're
the head of the table. There is no title involved. You can
Just
take the title
ranting
off the
on
table before the match entirely.
Yeah. But here's the thing: if it's just Rock and Roman, and Cody has to wait his turn, that means we are staring down the barrel of another year of wheel spinning. Cody spun his damn wheels for a year.
I had adversity, Connor.
I had to cover most of those episodes of Raw, and they were boring as sin. And I
His
hate
story
the
is
idea of
just longer than
SmackDown
he
being
thought,
without a
okay?
consistent world champion for another year.
It was a chapter book.
Yes,
he
it
didn't
was.
know.
It was a lot of chapters, and there was
And
a
most
lot
of them were
things
boring.
happening. That's how dare you?
Oh,
How dare you insult? How
Tell
dare you insult?
me one thing that happened in any of the Brock
I
matches.
can't because we gotta
You
get
can't.
we gotta get Haley in here to bring some sanity to this
Fire
discourse.
away, Haley.
And then we got one more topic to get to before we end. So Haley, what say you? What do you think?
I'm in the same boat as the rest of you. It's so frustrating. I was Team Cody winning last year at Mania. I was upset when it didn't happen. I've done endless podcasts about how angry I was about the decision, but they've really booked themselves into a corner. Bringing The Rock into this, like you guys have said, I mean, it writes itself. It's a WrestleMania main event. It's only really worthy of Mania, I feel like. But again, having Roman work both nights, I don't know how I feel about that.
It's risky. If
It
you get
is
hurt in one,
risky.
you're screwed on the second.
Maybe that's
But it's
why
kind of like
they're
it's
doing
ripping the Band-Aid off, man.
Yeah, it's like the Spurs. They're doing load management, and like that's why he's off all the time, because they're saving him for those 2 days. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Popovich would be proud. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Leave Wemby out of this.
I don't know. Yeah, it is risky. It is risky. I don't know. Like, I'm just not for it, I guess. I'm so over Roman, and I think just 2 main events of Roman would really sour me and make me upset.
2 nights of
Cody
WrestleMania
wins,
sour me and
unless
make me
Cody
upset.
wins. I could totally deal with it if Cody wins, and I don't know if that's
Right. So I do want to have the caveat that is part of this whole pitch for me. Is it ends with him losing, because he has to lose it at WrestleMania. It ends with him losing it, or else I don't want that at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to move into the next topic, but I will just throw in my 2 cents here. I'm not. I was upset at the Cody thing when he lost the title because I was invested in the story. Like I was upset for him. I was upset. I was wrapped up in the story. I was not as upset as Connor was, who has maintained his point throughout this entire time, as have I. I was not against the thing, and I've actually enjoyed several bits of Cody's journey to that. I didn't mind it. As someone who watches Bloodline every week, Bloodline TV, that was SmackDown for so long, it never bothered me. I was enthralled. So I do, however, think that Cody has to win it here. Like, this is the moment we've been building for. So that is, to me, the most important. I don't care as much about Rock Roman, but I get it. It's a marquee thing. I also, though, agree with Haley that it's too much. It's too much Roman. Because I just think, man, but I don't know how you, and also I'm a frequent defender on this show about, I feel like there should be one women's main event and one men's main event. And there you have a Becky Rhea main event. If they go that route, that is a main event. That is
a worthy main event.
You should have that. So automatically, I don't like the concept. But if you have booked yourself into a corner and you are doing this, I would rather you hold off on Rock. Have him appear, do something in that main event scene that then teases whatever's to come. But I don't want the back-to-back. But I also think, like, if you've backed yourself into this kind of corner, maybe that's the best solution. It sucks, and I don't think it's the best WrestleMania.
Let Rock up to Mania. Let Rock confront Roman, and it be this face turn supportive thing that no one's expecting. He's like, I appreciate what you've done for the family. I am with you. Your bloodline is depleted, but I am here. I am here to back you up. We get to Mania. Cody beats Roman. Rock goes in to support him, to coddle him, to pick him up, and then beats the hell out of him. And then we get Rock and Roman headline in SummerSlam. It's not WrestleMania, but it takes away the 2 nights. It gives us a reason to watch that fight, and it gives Cody the title. And I think every problem is solved. And we can move on with our lives. And if Rock can go make more horrible movies, and we can.
If Cody doesn't win, he should be AEW World Champion by the end of the year.
Oh my God! Don't start.
How long was his contract?
I mean, that extension,
Yes, I mean, look,
and he can't be AEW champion because 2024 is the year of Swerve.
So there it is. Okay, so we've actually already addressed the last topic, so that's fine. So we have we gotta go here. What I will say is what just happened was tantamount to the several people are typing in Slack. That was just an in-person moment that we just had because everyone was so amped. So I'm excited for the Rumble. As you can see, we clearly are. There's a lot to debate. We'll also have a lot to debate coming out of the Royal Rumble, and you can definitely stay tuned. We will do another one of these if you guys dig it. We will do another one of these for WrestleMania. I am very excited for that. Guys, thank you so much for jumping on the talk. This was superbly fun, and I can't wait to do this again. And of course, you can check out all of our coverage on WrestleMania and Royal Rumble right here on comicbook.com. Peace out, everybody.